This video will show you how to create nice domain names when you're using the Amazon API gateway. So the first thing I did is you create custom domain name. So you click this button. So the first thing you have to realize is this UI experience is really bad. This is really bad, really wrong. So you come in here and you create your domain name, and you specify the certificate that you want to associate it with, and you specify your base path mappings. So for whatever reason, it's really hard to you want to fight with this and essentially create something that looks like this. So here I created a custom domain name, serverless-cars. So this represents my production endpoint, and this represents my dev endpoint. And it's important that this looks exactly like this. So we have our /version1, and we have this :prod and :dev. So you want it to look like this. You do not want it to look like this /prod and the star here. You do not want this. You want this. If your URL, if your base path mapping looks like this, you will have to deal with this prod in the URL or a dev in the URL. So we don't want this prod or dev in the URL. So to remove that, we make sure this base path mapping looks like this in V1. So once this is set up, then you can go into you copy this. You can copy this to the clipboard. You copy the ID of this, and you must go into Route 53, and you must specify create a record serverless-cars, and create an alias record, and you copy and paste that cloud identifier into here. So this stuff takes a long time to initialize, and DNS takes a long time to initialize. So don't be surprised if this takes maybe 1 or 2 hours for this to all work. It can take a long time, but after you get it set up, you should be able to hit my cars API. I could switch to dev. So there's my dev endpoint. That works. And I could switch to prod. Here's my prod endpoint, and that works. But the main thing you want to remember is click on this, fight with this UI, get it to look like this, create the record in Route 53, wait a little bit, and give it a shot, and it should work.